Welcome to the Crypto Andrew channel. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on in Bitcoin. So right now, Bitcoin is currently sitting at $94,800. Where can we expect Bitcoin to go next? This is a little bit earlier live stream, but I do want to talk about what Bitcoin was doing and some of the price action that we're seeing on the charts. Hold on a second. So let's kind of see what's going on. We're going to dive into it. Let me share my screen, and we are going to look at the Crypto Fear Greed Index like we always do. So I'm wearing a tank top. It is like 84 degrees here today. So that's, too hot for me. So right now we are currently sitting in greed as is at 60. Anything below 60, I do believe would be neutral. So just something to take note of. Really, if it's at 60, that's not worrisome to me. And until you get close to 90, it really doesn't worry me for a local top. So let's head over here and see what's going on. I should probably say we are live. We do have a trading group. If you guys would like to join the trading group, link to join is in. If you are on YouTube, click the watermark in the right-hand corner of the screen, and that will take you where you need to go. And then we have a Telegram that's free to join as well. So feel free to join that if you just have general questions or would like to get notified when I go live. Let's go over here and look at Bitcoin. And right now, Bitcoin, it's kind of struggling. Bookmap does have more liquidity at 98,000 and little at 99 and a lot at 100. If I go full screen here, we go full screen here on a Bookmap. Bookmap does suggest you go slightly higher. You do have to understand you have some at 93,000, some liquidity at 93,000, but the liquidity is sitting at 96 is just as much as at 93, and 96 is slightly closer to where we are right now. My guess is you get at least a pump to 96K before a move down. This is on the daily time frame. So let's go, and we are going to look at Bitcoin and see what's going on. To me, Bitcoin isn't doing anything crazy. You try to get the bounce, and it's kind of struggling. Now, if you can break 95,000, that is weekly resistance. That's really what I need to see, and I don't know where my resistance line went, but that is resistance. That's weekly resistance at 95K. If you break that, your next target is basically 98K. And if you can't break 95K, then your next step would be 93.8 to the downside. This was a falling wedge that is trying to break to the upside, but again, I need to see Bitcoin crack this high here from Friday of last week, 3 days ago. If we can crack 95.8, that would be very good. So 95.8 is also a little bit of a target. You could even say the weekly resistance is up there at 95.8, but 95 to 95.8 is really the big range we must break to be bullish. Anything above that can sail us to about 98K, and then your next step is pretty much 100K. If you can't break 95.8, I'll say, then really the next step is 93.8, below that 92.2, and below that 91.5. So those are targets to watch out for on Bitcoin. The 4-hour time frame, put in a higher high. You're trying to put in a higher low, which it has done. Now you're trying to put in a higher high again above basically that 96K range. So we'll see what happens. To me right now, the trend is your friend until the end. Right now, the trend on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin is to the upside. So we'll see what happens. But Bitcoin, to me right now, if I just look at the books, by the books, it is looking like we get the bounce to the upside here, but we'll see. Let's jump down to the 1 hour to see what's going on the smaller time frames. It definitely doesn't look fantastic. Again, we're struggling to break 95.8. That's not good. 1 hour time frame kind of like making a little bit of rising wedge. And I didn't see this before, but this could be a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And then you get a measure move to the downside. This is a bearish pattern. These break down about 68% of the time. And then your bearish pattern would take you all the way down below 91.5. We do not want that to happen, but that is the bearish scenario on the table right now for Bitcoin. That looks really toppy to me. Even if you don't see this as a head and shoulders, which I do believe it's a slanted head and shoulders, that's a rising wedge here on the 1 hour. So be careful. There's some bearishness in the air, but to me, the trend is still on the 4-hour time frame bullish. But the smaller time frames are looking a little bit sketchy to me. Now, I guess the 15 could make a double bottom here at 94.2. There's a lot of things that could go on. If I just look at the 4-hour time frame alone, it looks like we are going to get the bounce. If I look at the 1 hour and 15 minute, I would be looking for at least to move down to 93.8. That's not that crazy. That's $1,000 move to the downside. So my guess is the rest of tonight into tomorrow morning, you get moved down to 93.8, and then we would look for a bounce back to 95.8. If you don't bounce to 93.8, then again 92.2 would be the next stop. But that seems like the most likely scenario. Short term for the rest of the night is a slight move to the downside of about $1,000. And then sometime tomorrow we can be looking for another move to the upside. So we'll see what happens. But that is just kind of what I see. It looks a little sketchy to me, so just be cognizant that Bitcoin is not being. It doesn't look lovely. So If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know and I will look at them. But that's what I see going on for Bitcoin. So short term, I'm bearish, but the 4-hour time frame, as of right now, it still looks like we can get the move to the upside. Now, obviously, if Bitcoin gets the move down, a lot of these altcoin trades that I posted aren't going to get the love. I see this on the 4-hour time frame. Pengu coin getting moved to 1.73 cents. That's probably not going to happen if Bitcoin collapses here. My trade basically at break even. So we'll see what happens. But to me, Pengu, that's a trade setup I gave in my Discord the other day. Or maybe it was this morning, and that is a trade setup, a stop loss below 11 or 1.1 cents. And that is a trade I see possibly playing to the upside. 4-hour time frame is oversold. The trend is your friend until the end. The 4-hour time frame is, making a higher low. The trend is up on the 4-hour, and now hopefully, if you can put a higher low in here at 1.1 cents, that would be a very good situation. So we'll see what happens. But to me, Pengu looks like a good long if Bitcoin cooperates. So that's kind of what I see going on for Pengu. If Bitcoin gets the move to 93.8, then Pengu could easily dump as well. So just be careful. It's a high risk trade, but that's what I see going on for Pengu. And if you want to have a steeper stop loss, you could put your stop loss. If you want to put your stop loss below 2 supports down, that's one support there. This would be another one. So the other place you could put a stop loss would be 0.008, but that would be a pretty steep stop loss. So, anyways, that is just what I see going on that token. And yeah. Appreciate if you guys had likes. It does help support the channel, but that's kind of what I see going on. I did also look for an Ethereum long entry. It doesn't look beautiful. I do see this as a rising wedge here on the 4-hour time frame, but the 4-hour time frame is oversold, so you get the bounce. If you just trade the patterns, you wouldn't want to long that. But the fact you're above the 200-day moving average tells me to long that, so I did that, and we'll see what happens. I have found over time I've made more money trading the moving averages than trading the patterns. So we'll see what happens. But the best way to make money is obviously when the pattern is bullish and when you're above the 200, and then you enter long. So far, we don't have that, so it's a very much 60-40 chance of winning this trade. It's probably not 68, 32 or whatever. So we'll see what happens. But I did enter long, and my stop loss is below the 200-day moving average or right above it. So we'll see what happens. But that is kind of my update on Ethereum. I don't usually talk about Ethereum, but to me, Ethereum does seem worthy of a possible trade. If you look at the 1 hour, 1 hour looks just like Bitcoin. That doesn't look good for long. I might, I don't know. I don't know if I want to stay in this long overnight. It looks pretty bad, actually. But then you look at the 8 hour, you look at the 12 hour. 12 hour actually looks bad, too. Damn. Well, Ethereum actually doesn't look as good as I thought. I am running along on the 4 hour based on the fact you're above the 200, but I don't know, man. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. We will see. Yeah, it doesn't look great. So if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll look at them. But that's kind of what I see going on. Ethereum actually looks pretty bad to me. I might have to cut that trade off for a minimal loss. It might not be worth the setup, to be honest with you. Pengu, I'm still in that trade. I don't know, man. The market actually, if I had to call it, I would be calling for a move to 93 on Bitcoin in the next few hours, probably sometime before market open tomorrow. And then you would have to get the bounce at 93.8 for Bitcoin. Thank you, Mario, for the follow. So yeah, it's kind of what I see going on for Bitcoin. I know it's not usually when I go live, but it is. I expected people to join. We got like 2 people watching. I don't know. So that's kind of what I see. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you. If you guys have no requests, then that's kind of gonna be it. Let me. Oh wow. So Trolls is a meme coin. It went all the way up to 34. Wow. That's actually kind of impressive. So that's a new all-time high. It's a brand new coin. And Trolls is something to maybe have on your radar. There's not a lot of data on the chart. That 33-minute time frame doesn't even have a 2. Oh, yeah, it does. Look, you got the bounce off the 200. You stayed above it. And if you put your stop loss down here at 1.8, he'd still be in the money. This is a coin I would probably not use leverage on because it's so volatile. I mean, the low today was 1.8 cents, and now you went all the way up to 3.4 cents. It literally doubled up. But, to me, you put your stop loss below the 200 and you would have gotten paid, and then you take your profits at the all-time highs. That's just what I would have done, but I didn't see that. I wasn't in that trade setup, but it played off beautifully on the half-hour time frame off the 200. So, again, that's a great thing I trade. So, anyways, Trolls is a coin I would put on your radar. At this point, though, you do need a cooldown on the half-hour time frame, so it's very likely you do actually come back down to probably 2.2 cents. I don't see 2.9 cents holding a support because you're still overbought on the half hour. We will see. But to me, Trolls right now, 4 hours also overbought. But to me, Trolls is something to watch. I'm going to start watching this more closely. It's just it needs to come down right now. So if you guys are, make sure you guys hit the like button, and I will do some of these requests that I see. All okay. Which I don't know what that means. Which profile indicator is that? I don't know what that means. But anyways, that's kind of what I see going on in the markets right now. This one, this is the VRVP indicator, volume. Well, this one is called volume number of rows, 1,000 up or down, but it's really called volume range volume profile, and that is what this is on the right. On meme coins, I'm not so sure if it makes a huge difference. Maybe it does a little bit. I don't trade based off it. I could delete it. I would even miss it. But that a lot of people ask me about that, and that's what that is called. Maybe, but yeah. So that's what that one is called. Thank you for the likes. Let me go look at TARS. I wouldn't be touching Trolls right now. I think it needs to come down a little bit. Is it TARS protocol on MEXC? Is this what you're looking at? 10 cents. Let me know if this is the one you want me to do. If not, so be it. This one looks pretty bad to me. Well, it's kind of low volume price action. You're above the 200. That's a good start. But that's 50% lower than where you are right now. So I would be looking for the 21 is coming up into price action. That's a good sign. My guess is you make some kind of bull pennant here. It's getting pretty tight actually. So, I don't know if this is what you're asking for, but this one does look good. I don't think it's on weeks. Thank you for the follow, Thanos. All will retire. Is that on exchange or is that on like Solana? Because if it's on Solana, I don't know, man. Probably won't look at it. If it's not on a major exchange like Weeds, Binance, MEXC, I'm not gonna look at it. Anyways, that's kind of what I see. I don't think this is the one you're talking about. Maybe it is TARS protocol. Maybe it is the one you want. But either way, that is bullish nonetheless. So, it does look decent to me right now. This one does at least. I don't know if this is what you wanted, but this is what I see going on. On this one is I'll put my stop loss right here, maybe slightly lower even, and then below the 200-day smooth moving average, and then you could be in a great 4-hour trade. 4 hours oversold. That looks pretty good to me. It looks like really, if you can hold 8 cents, I see a move coming all the way to 21 cents. Or yes, that's 21 cents on TARS. If you want to have a tighter stop loss, you could probably put your stop loss right there at 9.8. But again, with how low volume this is, my guess is you would get stopped out. You're pretty much at the highs. I mean, the thing we just talked about, VRVP. There's no volume up here. So that maybe you're at all-time highs, maybe that no, you're not all-time highs. You did have price action up there all the way from back here. So, be cautious. You haven't been up there in a long time. So just be cautious. But overall, I do see a move coming. If you can hold 8 cents, coming to 21 cents. So this is a coin I would not use leverage on. I would just do 1x leverage and use more capital. But that is not financial advice. I'm just telling you that's what I would do if I was playing the token in a long trade. So here's what I'm going to do tonight on my Ethereum trade. I'm going to stay in my long, and maybe the 200 will hold, and maybe I'll win the trade. I've said this before, going back to Ethereum. If you break the 200 on any asset on the 4-hour time frame, I then go to the 6-hour. The 6-hour you're at right now. If you get above the 6-hour, I look for the 8-hour 200 to be the next target. That's at 1928. Really, 1928 is very likely if we can stay above 1797 or get above it and stay above it. Those are the next targets on Ethereum. I'll keep you guys posted in the trading group revolving this trade. If we do get the move up, I didn't mean to do that. But to me, Ethereum does want to do that. Then the 12-hour 200 is at 2272. That would be a very nice pump. And your next real resistance is 2465. So even though Ethereum doesn't look fantastic, I'm going to stay in my long and we'll see what happens. Bitcoin dominance continues to creep up. The 4-hour time frame is overbought though, so look for that to come to the bottom of the range. That means altcoins could get a pump tonight. And I do want to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then I will do a few more requests if there are any more. Otherwise, that's going to be it. So let me look at Bitcoin, Ethereum right now if I can find it, and I see it right. Ethereum, Bitcoin, yeah. And I'm going to put this at the bottom of my chart because I do want to start looking at this more often. I'll put by Bitcoin dominance. That's a good place for it. So Ethereum, Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. This suggests that Ethereum is going to start outperforming Bitcoin here on the 4-hour time frame. Yes, you're not above the 200. I would like to see you get above 2 cents. I talked about this 2 days ago. But the fact that the 4-hour made a higher low and is oversold now, getting the bounce on the RSI is a great sign. The 3-hour is about to break the 200 on ETH Bitcoin. The 2-hour is already above it barely. The 1-hour is probably way above. Well, it's not way above it. So yeah, you need to stay above these levels on ETH Bitcoin. I'd be watching though for 2 cents, and if that happens, again, I said I go long. I did go long in Ethereum a little bit early, and it might have been risky, but to me, Ethereum does look like you get the pump later this week. We'll see what happens. You'd have to negate the head and shoulders that I talked about on the smaller time frames, but that's Ethereum. Bitcoin could be reversing. The bottom could be in now for Ethereum. I would say it's a 50-50 chance at best, though. It's still 50-50. Thank you guys for the likes. And yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I'll be back live on Saturday at 11 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to post a lot of videos this week, so if you guys have a request for altcoins, go to my YouTube channel, or you can post it on my TikTok. But I post my altcoin setups on YouTube, so go to my YouTube channel, request an altcoin if you guys would like a more deep analysis on altcoin, and I will be posting those videos tomorrow. I'm going to post like 3 videos on YouTube tomorrow, nothing crazy. Right now, I don't have a list, so if you guys request an altcoin, I would do it. Probably I'll do XCN tomorrow. And then beyond that, I don't know. I'll probably do a Bitcoin update, and then I'll do another token that is hot tomorrow, depending on what the market looks like tomorrow. If we get a token that's up 50% tomorrow, I'll probably do an update on that one. But that is kind of what we got going on. And then, of course, I always get my Bitcoin setups or my Bitcoin updates to my trade every single day in the Discord before YouTube. So it's another reason to join the Discord. But anyways, that's kind of what we got going on. My silver trade right now on the half-hour or on the 4-hour time frame is getting the bounce. I said in a video update a few hours ago on YouTube that I saw 34.50 coming in the next week on silver, and that's nothing crazy. But again, it's a pretty boring asset to hold. So when you do get a few dollar move, it's kind of exciting. It's only up 0.25% overall. It's pretty boring, but I believe that silver is going to start to outperform gold. Because I think gold's topped out right now. Maybe in a month you get another bounce, but I believe gold's topped out. Look, the 4-hour time frame on gold just got rejected off of 33.70. So we'll see what happens. But gold to me right now looks like it might need to get the dump to the downside. So hold on a second. Okay, so that's kind of what I see going on gold. I see it move to the downside coming, and if you don't hold 33.67, your next stop is 3300. If you don't hold that level, then I do see a move coming to the downside, possibly all the way down to that low $3,000 range at 3030, where you do have support. So we'll see what happens, but to me, gold must break 3370. If you don't do that, I do see more downside to 3300. If you don't hold that, 3030 is the next target. So that's kind of what I see going on gold. I do appreciate the 1,000 likes on TikTok. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's gold in a nutshell. I did long silver the last Monday, so 8 days ago. Yeah. And then one more thing I want to look at before I get out of here, Tesla. This is what I would look for on Tesla tomorrow. Maybe I'll do I need to do a video on Tesla. I haven't done a weekly update on YouTube on Tesla in a long time. But Tesla right now, if you break 296, 295, I would be looking for a massive move to 330. And again, at that point, if this 4-hour makes a higher low, I will relong Tesla. We will see what happens. I'm going to relong Tesla if you can break 295. So I might be doing that sometime this week or next week, because we'll see what happens. I want to see us break 295. If we can't do that, it's bearish. You got rejected off 295 now 1, 2, 3 times. You need to break it. So we'll see what happens. But Tesla, to me, it's something to have on your radar. I'm going to set an alert on Tesla at 295. If you break 295, I would be looking for an entry. Now, I wouldn't enter off 295. I would be looking for the 4-hour time frame to be oversold above 295, and when you do that, I would be looking for an entry. That could take another 5 days to play out because you could get maybe this is something that could happen tomorrow. Well, actually, you know what? Tuesday, I'm predicting a down day because the 4-hour still needs to come down here. But then maybe sometime around Wednesday, you get the bounce to the upside and you get above it. The R side gets overbought again. But then if you can consolidate sideways, and then when the 4 hours oversold, you don't lose 295. That's when I have long. That could take another week to play out. But maybe sometime next week, even later next week, in a week and a half, I could see a possible long on Tesla if we can crack that 295 level. So Tesla to me is something to have on your radar and be watching it like a hawk for a long entry. But to me right now, it's still a no-go in my opinion. So that's just, I mean, that's just what I see going on. So Tesla to me, something to have on the radar, but it's definitely not a buy just yet. It's really close. It could be another week or two, and you could be in the long. But I swing trade Tesla, I swing trade silver, and I don't take many trades. So we'll see what happens. I only took one trade on Tesla this entire year so far. So, and then in the commodities and stock market, I've only done 2 trades: Tesla trade, and then in silver. So, and silver isn't really the stock market, But anyways. Yeah, Tesla. I could see a long in Tesla really in the next week or two, possibly. Probably sometime mid May, if you get this break up, I would be buying Tesla. And whenever that happens, I'll make a video about it. But yeah, I'd be watching Tesla pretty closely here. So yeah, that's kind of my update on the charts. So with that being said, guys, that's kind of all I got. I will see you guys in the next one unless we see more requests, and I do not see any requests here. So with that being said, I guess that's going to kind of wrap things up. Yeah, I don't see anything else. What is Bitcoin doing? Kind of struggling here, so we'll see what happens. But I am not long. I'm not long on Bitcoin right now. I'm not long on Bitcoin. Technically, Bitcoin hit the measured move from that flag as well, even though it was a lower high. You did hit the measured move out of this falling wedge. So we'll see what happens. But to me, I'm not loving what I'm seeing at Bitcoin short term. But overall, the week, I still see upside on Bitcoin. It just means that until tomorrow market open, I see downside. This is another idea. I didn't even talk about this. I didn't even think about this. But now that I've looked at the charts a little bit longer, I see this as another idea on Bitcoin. Instead of saying that was a falling wedge that broke out, which it kind of did, it hit the measured move, you could say that you have some kind of ascending triangle here. And this was your falling wedge. And again, you've hit the falling wedge measured move. I believe, maybe not though. The bullish idea on Bitcoin is that, so your first measured move would be that resistance at 98K. Your second one would be basically 100K exactly. And this is just Bitcoin can get that move to 100K. I see Bitcoin actually being bullish here. You had this falling wedge, which broke out to the upside. Now you're probably going to consolidate sideways. So you have that falling wedge in this ascending triangle. I see Bitcoin in a ascending triangle here. So, even though I see more downside back to the bottom of the triangle here sometime in the next 4 to 12 hours, I see sometime tomorrow at this time in 24 hours to 48 hours, Bitcoin is probably somewhere between 95 and 96,000. And I do see a move to 100K coming quickly for Bitcoin. And again, Bookmap suggests you get the move to 100K on the daily time frame on Bookmap. So I'm going to call along here on Bitcoin sometime in a week from today. I believe Bitcoin will be between 96 to 98K, if not higher. And that's my call for the week, is a move to the upside on Bitcoin. I'm looking for a long here on Bitcoin to 100K in under 2 weeks. I'm going to say this. I believe by 5/14 in 2.5 weeks or less, by 5/14, Bitcoin has hit 100K. So that's nothing crazy. That's only a $5,000 or $6,000 move. That's a pretty conservative call, I would say. But if you break down, that'll probably be wrong. But for right now, I believe that it's a 68% chance you get that move in 2 weeks. That's my bold prediction for the next 2 weeks. We'll see what happens, but we will see. So you have 2 targets to the upside, 98K and then 100K on Bitcoin. That falling wedge measure move is 98K. The ascending triangle measure move is 100K for Bitcoin. That's what I'd be looking for, and I will leave it at that. I see a move coming to the upside for Bitcoin here, most likely in less than 2 weeks, but I'll say 2 weeks to be conservative. So that's all I got, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for stopping by. And I will see you guys on Saturday at 11 p.m. Central Time for the next live stream. Watch my YouTube channel. Click the bell notification on YouTube so you get notified every time I post a video on YouTube, because I will post it about 3 tomorrow. We will see. I'm going to post 3 videos tomorrow on YouTube, probably in after market open, but I will be posting sometime in the next under 12 hours. I'll be posting three videos for the crypto market. So that's all I got. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for stopping by. And again, appreciate the likes and the support. See you guys on the next one. Trade safe and have a great rest of your Monday night. Adios. Oh, I have one more thing to say. As always, guys, respect the trend. The trend is your friend until the end. And right now the trend is up. I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.